I met several women who were Pentecostal ministers. They actually were preaching, but there's an injunction against women in the pulpit in this religion. So that made me very curious. How did they get in the pulpit? So I spent, at least a year in southern Indiana working with women there. Then I got this job in Missouri, and I started going down to Eldon, Missouri, and places further south from Columbia, and found women in the pulpit and continued that research with them. And it was very interesting. The reason they were able to be in the pulpit was because they said they got a call from God. And so even within the restrictions of the church, they were able to be ministers. Some of them could only be itinerant ministers from church to church, but some were pastors of churches. And so I interviewed them, and I wrote about their sermons, and at least 1 or 2 books and a lot of articles came out of that work. And then I decided that it might be interesting to also study clergy women in mainline denominations. I wanted to study them in their sermons and their life stories. I wanted to get their stories of how they had become clergy women. I didn't know how I was going to do that, though. So I found out that the clergy women in this area meet twice a month, only the women, just to share stories and get support from each other and talk about their jobs, whatever. So I said, well, can I come to the group and just listen for a while? And so they said yes. So I went to the group, and they met in the attic of a very small African-American AME church here in town, kind of in secret. It was kind of, no one knew that they were meeting like this. So I went to a session and listened. Of course, as a field researcher, I'm just like, okay, I have to do this. So I asked them if I could come every time to their meetings, and if I could begin interviewing them and recording their sermons. And they made me go downstairs and walk around the block for half an hour while they discussed it. And so I did. I'm walking around thinking, oh, this is not going to work. And it did. I came back and they said, you can do it. I think I might have written 3 books on the method, and also with the clergy women, the educated mainstream women in this area. And finally I said, okay, I'm done. I can't write anything else about you guys. And they argued and said, no, we like this, we love this, because we would meet and talk, and it was amazing. And some of those women from those groups are still my best friends.